get this recording and then we'll get off. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this Engage session. How are you going? Nothing much happening, right? Business as usual, right? Of course it's not. And I thought I would use this, given the various bits of chaos and carnage in the world, I thought it might be a really, really useful opportunity to use this Engage session instead to give a bit of a briefing in terms of things that you all should be doing and understanding with regards to your academy project, whatever your business is that you are working on right now. Because we are about to enter a new normal. I don't want to, let's leave the politics, the guessing, the prognostications. Let's leave those to others, right? There's plenty of that going on. You can see that wherever you want to see it. But let me tell you, right? I can say this with absolute 100% certainty. The world has changed forever. Forever. We have not experienced anything like this in the past, well, in any of our lifetimes. Even in World War II, you could go to the shop. A salesperson could knock on doors, right? So while we don't have the prospect of being blown up, right, the change to our life and our lifestyles is not, it is to think anything other than that we are going to be facing a new normal is naive. And I'm in the business of making money for people and coaching you guys, and that's the reality. Like I said, I'm not going to get into politics of it. What that looks like, who knows? I don't know. But I do know that the psychology of everything has changed. And when we are faced with that, that can be a pretty terrifying prospect. However, having said that, let me tell you something I also know with absolute certainty. And my God, the number of motivational, rah-rah, vomit-inducing COVID-19, we've just got to gut through this and get together the stuff is making me spew, right? That's, if you're here for that, sorry, not going to happen. What I'm going to tell you is facts. And another fact is the information marketing business is about to enter a golden age. How can I say that? Because with the 1919 pandemic, the Great Depression of the late 20s, early 30s, the 70s oil shock, the 1987 original Black Friday, the 91-92 depression, right? The dot-com bust of 2002, the financial banking disasters of 2008, all of those, every single one of them, information marketing businesses thrived, exploded, did brilliantly. Right. So if you think and if you're running an information business that you think, well, it's just the environment, I'm sorry, I've got zero sympathy for you, because right now is a golden age. Yes, there are businesses that have had, like for those of you into Marvel, the Thanos click, and it's horrible and it's horrific. Their businesses are gone, destroyed, like overnight, devastated. And that is true. And that is terrible. But I'm not their coach. I'm your coach. Some of you may be listening to this and your real world business has suffered exactly that. And you have my incredible sympathies. But I can't change any of that, nor can you. However, for every business that is gone like that, I can show you a business that is experiencing Black Friday every single day in terms of their sales. My baker, my local baker, has had to put on 2 shifts of bakers. He usually only does that the 2 days before Christmas because of all of the increased demand of people being at home. Amazon is putting on 50,000 new employees. The need for copywriting, praise, is going through the roof. The need for ad buyers and media buyers is going through the roof. If you literally are banned by your local authorities from going to non-essential businesses, there's a new part of the language. Who knew? There are essential businesses and there are non-essential businesses. If you can't literally go through the door, the only way you can get people to buy your stuff, to buy your takeout or deliveries for your restaurant, is through online paid advertising. Because, and we can argue whether this is a good or bad thing, but again, I can't change it. So we just have to deal with what exists and what is right now. And with what exists right now and what is happening right now, the reality is, if you have a social media presence, you think, oh, well, at least I can reach my people that way. No, you can't. No, you cannot. If you have 100,000 followers and you make an Instagram post about a new special that you have in your business that's available for takeout or delivery, maybe, if you are lucky, 500 of those 1,000 followers will see it for free. If you want everybody to see it, you have to pay to play. That creates opportunities. The need for ad buyers and media buyers is about to go through the, not about to, is going through the roof. That's the facts. Many of you know that I've taken up a position of Director of Marketing at AdSkills, and I'll tell you the #1 place on planet Earth right now that is buying more retargeting recipes than anywhere else. Do you want to have a guess in the chat? The #1 place on the planet right now, which is buying the retargeting recipes book. Anybody in the chat want to have a guess? So their AdSkills product. What country in the world right now is buying more of AdSkills book than any other country on the planet? It's Italy. Italy. Yeah, exactly, Hillary. Italy, you got it. Right? So, you know, people have to do something when they're indoors. People have to think of things to do. And what history tells us is when inward and they look at improving themselves. Now, it's absolutely true that a vast will cocoon, like they will literally hibernate. They won't isolate, they will hibernate. Okay, that will happen. Again, sorry, don't write the rules. This is the reality. All right. I'm retiring in 5 days. Right. So I'm just giving it to you how it is. Right. However, again, history tells us that things like self-improvement, fitness, all these things explode. Coffee, the consumption of coffee, explode. Little luxuries that people can buy and give themselves a buzz. Apps, you watch the app world explode, go enormous. Some of you have magcasts. Watch those explode as people turn inward. However, this is unlike anything we've ever seen, like in modern day history, right? This is, you know, up until the last couple of weeks, you know, we could safely say even 9/11 and stuff like that, people have experienced everything that we've seen before. This is unprecedented, right? This is absolutely, right, off the charts crazy town. And that's the reality of it. And we will have chaos and carnage and terrible loss of life and all of these sorts of things. Again, I have incredible sympathy for that. I also hope people be smart and behave like human beings instead of the Lord of the Flies style response to toilet paper. But that's predictable. That's human nature too. But what is also predictable, more than at any other time, is that markets that sell and provide information to people will do incredibly brilliantly. Now, your choice, frankly, listening to this, is this going to be you or is it going to be somebody else? It's up to you, your choice. All right, you can, and trust me, I've been doing it. I've been so good with my screen time. Like, I'm unbelievable because I'm writing so much copy at the moment. I've been so good with my screen time. I've just literally got it down to small amounts. Forget about it this week. You kidding? Twitter? I'm just like, it's unbelievable. Right? I get that. And you can choose to be a consumer and you can choose to, insulate yourself with the constant drama of the various news feeds you get. And for goodness sake, if you're picking one news street, please use Twitter, not Facebook. Facebook is just devastating with the amount of bullshit, excuse my French, that is going on in Facebook. My use of Facebook has gone to near zero. So, ignorance and pretending things are all good and being happy clappy, we're entrepreneurs. Vast majority of you are glass half full types of people, is not going to cut it. Right? If you do not address the, dare I say it, virus in the room with your markets, you will get irrelevant. Some of the tone deaf marketing that I have seen going on this past week, and celebrities singing Imagine, oh my God. I love most of those people, but I want to punch them in the face right now. That's not helpful. That's not useful. That's not what we are interested in right now. That's not what your clients, not what your audience, not what your followers are interested in right now. Right? They're interested in, first, empathy, understanding that we're all in this together is the first part, and acknowledging what's going on. Get your pens out. Okay, here's the first thing that you need to do. You're all going to spend a CFT, a 50-minute period, free writing on how my market has changed forever, because it has. Right? And like I said, for some of you, this is every Black Friday for the next decade compressed into the next few weeks. There are contemporaries of mine that are making more money than you would possibly believe. Right? Helping people, not exploiting people. Those people will be arrested or worse, or worse, depending on the country and how things get. Right? I'm not talking about exploiting. I'm talking about helping. But the first thing you have to get through your head is whatever your market is, Hillary, Chris, Elizabeth, Marilyn, whatever your market is, right? It has been impacted enormously. Chris Hill, oh my God, right? Dude, I'm with you. But we have to pivot. We have to figure out, because guess what hasn't died? Guess what hasn't disappeared? What's in here? What's in your knowledge? What you can do for people. That is absolutely crucial. So the very first thing that you all have to do is you have to take a good, cold, hard look at each of your markets and say, what has changed? Because it has changed forever, right? Literally, the world has changed forever. Now, we'll have a new normal. We will get back to normalcy. We will get back to, the vaccine will happen in, 12 to 18 months. And, this will become like another flu. right? It'll be another version of the flu. That will happen. I'm pretty confident in saying that. I'm really, really confident in saying that without any medical training or degrees or anything, right? So keep that in mind. But the world's changed. And, you know, a lot of people, and, you know, the things that will change, a lot of people are going to realize, holy shit, you know what? I don't need to work in an office. You know what? These meetings that we were traveling for, why are we doing that? This Zoom stuff's cool. Hey, I've discovered virtual backgrounds too. Wow, this changes things, right? So that's what I mean when the thing has happened. So often, and Marilyn makes a really, really good point. It's not necessarily your product or service has to change. Your messaging about that product or service will change by definition, because if you just pretend nothing's gone wrong, you're insane. Now, write this down. This is the next key point. Don't you, for the love of all things holy and the deity of your choice, don't you dare mention COVID-19, coronavirus, pandemic, anything to do with flus or quarantines, self-isolation. Don't you, essential and non-essential business, don't you dare in any of your advertising or any of your landing pages or any of your stuff mention any of that at all. Hang on, Ed. Didn't you just say that you had to include all that? Yes, that's exactly what I said. But then, Ed, hang on a sec. Didn't you say not to mention any of the key terms that are going on? Yes, I said that too. Ed, should have you retired slightly earlier? No, I should not have. If you mention any of those things on your landing pages, where you send your traffic to, on your ads, on your Facebook ads, your Google ads, your YouTube ads, your YouTube videos, any of that stuff, you will be terminated with extreme prejudice. You will never be able to use that platform again, right? More so than at any other time in the history of ad networks. We've seen some slaps in our time. Now, you can ignore me. It's cool. Feel free. But I'm telling you right now, and remember, I work for the largest group of agencies on the planet. I'm telling you right now, people are getting their accounts smashed with absolute extreme prejudice. All right, Ed. So we need to be where the customer is, but we can't mention this stuff. How the hell? What? That doesn't compute. Yes, it does. And let me explain. I'll give you an absolute concrete example. Hey, you're spending a lot more time at home and can't get to the gym? How about these cool at-home exercise techniques? What did I just do there? I entered the conversation in people's heads. They know why they're at home. They know why they can't go to the gym. I didn't have to say, hey, are you self-isolating? Is the gym in your hometown closed because of coronavirus? Here's some stuff you can do at the office. See the difference? See the difference. That's what I mean, right? You have to be smart about it. And I encourage you all to use the academy to get your peers to look at your copy to make sure you don't stretch. Because if you ignore it and just say, hey, guess what, gang? Oh, isn't it a nice time of year? Summer's coming. Let's get a great summer bod. You're dead. Dead. Dead in the water because you're not acknowledging what's going on. All right? There are wonderful, wonderful opportunities in this current environment. There are an awful lot of landmines, and that's fine. We'll work through them together. We shall navigate them together. That's what we're going to do. All right. But don't for a second think you can positive think your way out of this. You know, as entrepreneurs, we tend to be positive groups of people. It's the time to be real. All right, so let's have a look at my list here. How does your market change? Do at least a 50-minute exercise on how your market changes. Ignorance is not an option. Okay, so you must acknowledge what's going on in your materials. Make sure you do not mention it in any, like if you mention any of the words associated with the current crisis, including the word crisis, you will be wiped from the face of the earth by the ad networks, and you will never, ever, ever be able to use their platforms again. Right? Just absolutely understand that with crystal clear certainty. Two final things. One, the next 50-minute period. So once you understand how this has impacted your clients, how is this impacting your prospects? How is this impacting your tribe? You spend 50 minutes on that. Then you spend 50 minutes on how can you help? How can you help? With the skills that you have, the knowledge you have, and by definition, if you're watching this, you have skills that people desperately need right now. Even if you think, oh, I'm really just a baby in terms of this, let me tell you, for all those businesses, for all of those companies, for all those organizations, for all those people who are looking to improve themselves, literally where they're shut in home for the first time in certainly in living history, where people are literally confined to their homes. Remember, this did not happen in World War II or World War One. Of course, you may have been on a battlefront and then your life was majorly and irrevocably changed. Right? I'm not making light of that, but this is unprecedented because it affects everybody. Right? We can't travel. We can't, this is, as I said, it's unprecedented. That's a new word, unprecedented. I've never used it more than this week. So, but I want you to think, how can you help? Because you can help. You can create products and services that will be incredibly useful to your tribe in this environment. I know you can. And that is your challenge. And for those of you who take on that and accept that challenge, boy, as I look around just in my own community, and people, the butcher's saying to me in my local coffee shop and say, Ed, how lucky are you? I go, bloody oath, I'm lucky. I've been self-isolating for 20 years, right? This is no change for me personally, right? Because of the gift of being involved in information and understanding the power of information marketing and what that means. And so I'm being incredibly fortunate. Make no mistake about that, right? But for you right now, you can be an incredible help in all of your respective markets. You look at all the new problems that are being created. There are problems in your market that literally did not exist 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, didn't exist. And with those problems come opportunity, right? You solve the problem, you will do well. Because the money, and I don't want to get into the money side of things, but the money hasn't disappeared. Yes, the stock values have disappeared. Yes, people's jobs, and people have lost incredible amounts of income, all their income. People have been laid off. It is dreadful. People in the airline industry, and that's why I've been on a crusade for this long. Did I predict there would be a global pandemic? No, that was lower down on my list. Just literally slightly above alien invasion, to be truthful. But we knew that life could change. If you were in a corporate or in business or in small business, right, dramatic things have been happening all the time. And we've already been talking about a plan B. So now, you just got to ask yourself, do you cocoon? Do you hibernate? Or do you help? Do you help others through helping them with their challenges and being paid for it and compensated for it, as you should be? That right there is the challenge for that. One final message: paid to train. There'll be people listening to this who have literally lost their jobs and lost their livelihoods. And it's, it's horrific. I've been there, self-inflicted, right? I did it to myself. I've blown up businesses on, 2 occasions. So I know that, right? I've been there, done that, and received the T-shirt. But there will be more people who've experienced it not through their own, as I said, mine were more self-inflicted injuries than anything else. But for a lot of people, people listening to this, like, your income may have literally stopped. But let me tell you, these 3 words are your savior: paid to train. There are enormous numbers of jobs right now for people who can write copy, who can do graphic design, who can edit articles. Do they pay huge amounts of money? No, they do not. Do they pay you something? Yes, they do. Do they pay you quickly? Yes, they do. And while you're thinking about how you can help your market or your tribe, they can keep the wolves from the door. There are so many of these services, some that you've used in the past, in terms of you all have skills. You all have skills. So if that's you right now, paid to train, write articles for people, sign up to all their article writing services, to the editorial. Like, I certainly wouldn't sign up to personally, I wouldn't sign up to an editorial thing. But I am writing copy for people, and I'm charging exorbitant sums of money for that, because my value for copywriting has just gone through the roof. Train yourself to become a media or ad buyer. People are going to be desperate for media and ad buying services. Large agencies, I'm telling you right now, are hiring like crazy town to try get enough people who are competent in doing ads and being able to manage clients and do those sorts of things. So while you are, it's very hard to be creative when you're worried about where food is going to hit the table, right? So paid to train opportunities are there right now. They exist in the tens of thousands, the hundreds of thousands. Like I said, are these gigs big payers? No, a lot of them aren't. But boy, they get money going through the door, and that's something. And that will give you some level of comfort. And, and perhaps if there's one final thing, I keep saying one final thing, if there's one final thing, it is seek help, right? In times of crisis in my life, I've been very much one to keep it to myself, and it's never been the right solution. It's never been the right solution. You have your fellow Academy members. You have this incredible community in the Academy Slack. And what I'm thrilled to see is an increased number of, since this crisis has hit, the increased usage in the Academy has been very, very pleasing. I've been thrilled to see that. So, it's a, fantastic that people are reaching out. So please make sure that you do reach out, inside the Academy, and make sure that, you let people know what's going on. Okay, that's the lecture, right? I would rather cut off my left testicle than send out a COVID-19 update. What a foolish thing to do. Yeah. Great. Oh, what? You weren't hand sanitizer? You weren't making sure your facilities were hygienic before? Oh, comforting. Super comforting. Seriously. Um, oh, people are asking if the ad skills course offering is worth buying. Hold on. I have inside information. If you're looking at becoming like if you are interested in becoming a media buyer or an ad buyer of if you want to do a career change into media and ad buying, hold on for just literally less than 10 days, because there's something coming down the pipe which I think will be very attractive for you. So that'd be my advice, Paul, with that. Okay, with that, I'll say goodbye to people on the recording, and I'll open up the, obviously this is not your normal engage session, but I'll open up for Q&A outside the recording. For those of you on the recording, see you in the academy.